Welcome to Ecotopia U Media. I'm your host, Melissa McGinnis. I'm joined by my co-host, Tom Wright. And Tom, today we're going to be discussing water conservation, specifically what Jerry Brown just went on record to talk about. Let's hear him speak.
Thank you.
All right, come back.
So, what are your thoughts? I mean, this is a historical drought here in California.
Well, it's nice to see a politician sort of try to get ahead on an issue. That's
Right.
for sure.
Right.
I mean, and to the extent that people think he is lagging, his governorship and what they've been doing in Sacramento, in the halls, they've been telling people, the ag people in particular, that you got to learn how to grow food with less water, and it's been good for the organic food movement. It's been good for the compost industry. There's a lot of people listening because these are, even if you don't farm organically, if you apply more compost and create more organic rich soil, then you will retain water better too. So there's kind of this tumbling effect happening throughout the state.
Well, that's really encouraging. I mean, I like how he pointed out, not only are we lacking the water sources, but our temperature is higher.
Right.
Therefore, everything's drier. And when we discuss or bring in, topically growing food, it's going to require more water with less resource. So if we could figure out a way, like you just mentioned, topsoil, composting to help mitigate some of the need for water.
Yeah, I mean, the typical thing that people start to think about when it comes to water conservation, of course, is about what they can do themselves. And so they're sort of detached from the food they eat. But as a state, we do want to, agriculture is the biggest user of water in the state of California, by far. And so we really have to learn how to grow food with less water. There are concepts that people will of course want to fight against because they want to do, he used the phrase, I think, the same old thing, right? Do the same old thing or whatever you just said. And no, we can't farm the same way we've been. You can't just spray, you can't just water crops willy-nilly anymore. Flooding, which is a common way to grow certain, like tomatoes, these big rows, don't just flood it momentarily and let it get into the root system that way. That's just not going to work anymore. They're going to have to learn how to grow food differently. There's other places in the world that have suffered with droughts that grow food differently and are doing fine. Australia, New Zealand have had droughts too, and that's the birthplace of permaculture.
So sometimes something so negative like this actually could be a positive, so it causes us to really think about change.
Yeah, we've been probably a little bit silly about how much water we do use, and probably never should have thought that way, but we did. And to his point, there's a 6-year drought in the 20s, which of course is the Depression, right around that time. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, thank you for this discussion. And
let's talk a little bit about household stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about there's some basic ways that people can save water at home. When you brush your teeth, don't run the faucet. Get your toothbrush wet, put on the toothpaste, brush your teeth, then rinse. But don't keep the faucet on all the time. When you're going to wash dishes by hands, try to use 2 different types of clear, the soapy water and clear water. Don't keep the faucet on all the time. When it comes to your lawn, either reduce your lawn if you can. That's the smartest thing to do, or you can also think in terms of watering less, and watering fewer minutes and seeing if that works. I know that I have a small lawn, and I'm able to I water it every 3rd day for 6 minutes. I've got it timed. And the grass is fine.
There's a lot of homes that have sprinklers that go off, during the heat of the day where most of it's absorbed. Sometimes people don't even know that their sprinklers are going on in the middle of the night.
Right.
It's repetitive. So I would say check your sprinkler system, make sure you know exactly when it's going, that it's not overwatering, that it's not watering at the inappropriate times. When is the best time to water?
I think at 4 or 5 a.m. is the thought. That's the best time to water is.
So
pre-sunrise.
Pre-sunrise. And what are some other tips?
Well, I mean,
I know low flush toilets are
Low
a
flush
good one.
toilets. If you can do laundry, remember per unit of clothing, the larger laundry you do is less water intensive than if you do a small load. So if you can have the patience to do larger loads, that's going to be less water per cleanliness.
And all of this really adds up. I mean,
Yeah.
really turning off the faucet when you brush your teeth saves 10 to 15 gallons of water.
Yeah.
And so if we all did that, it would all really accumulate and add up. So we're in this together. Thank you for the tips, and stay tuned to Ecotopia U Media for more information.
Thank you.